Good morning to Europe up there, and good evening to Hobart down here. Day 159. That means it's nearly 160 tomorrow. Anyway, 159 of the GGR. That's a long time at sea, and all's good with Simon. We'll go through that. And Kirsten and Ablish are out of this little front that came through. Goog was getting close to the corner of the zone, so he's bailed out, and Jeremy's drifting along, and Ian's actually catching up to Jeremy. I thought it was going to go the other way around. And we've just walked in the door from trying to sort out Guy here. Oh, there's interesting. I don't know whether this is a named cyclone or not yet, but it's a tropical depression, and it's kind of interesting because what'll happen in the next number of days, it'll come down here, and apparently it's going to zip straight across to the bottom of New Zealand here, in between Cook Strait, which is right where Guy was going to go. But anyway, he wouldn't have been there at that time anyway. But they're always interesting to watch. So Guy's still not quite in. If we start zooming in here, you'll see where he is. Hang on, I'll get it right down here, and we'll. He's still coming. He started motoring. Wrong one. Started motoring about 5 hours ago, so that's the good news. And we'll take him right across here. Now I just got to find him. Okay, so you can see. I'll zoom it in again, and you'll see. I'll show you exactly where he's going. Anyway, so we're dealing with Border Force, our security organisation, and customs, quarantine, and biosecurity. And normally when you come in, when you're clearing a boat, there's a government wharf, or a government berth that you go to do your clearance. And of course the wooden boat show's on. There's lots of visitors, and the boat show's all around that wharf. And so even though we knew it was coming, a couple of hours ago, we got the word that, we don't have a berth. You've got to find your own berth, and we'll come and clear you on the berth. So then had a big hunt. The Royal didn't have any, and so our troubleshooter, Jason's, found a mooring just out the front of the Royal here. So what's going to happen? This is the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania here. He'll come through. He's not there yet. You'll see him. He's going to pick up a mooring here for the night. Oh, look at that. Boom. He's just there. Okay, so, and in fact, by the look of that, I was just about to say he'll pick up a mooring here. Right now, and head there, and then in the morning move to a wharf. There is a public jetty over here where he'd do his clearance, but it looks like he may have decided to go direct to that wharf. He's on quarantine, no one can go on board, no one can give him anything, he can't pass anything off. It's a pile jetty. He's going to need a fender board and a few other things, and it's not the most comfortable with the wind the way it is now, but that's fine. So then customs and all the officials will come down sometime late morning. They have to clear a cruise ship at 10 o'clock. As soon as they've done that, they'll come down, and then Guy will be cleared. So we were sorting that. I couldn't go out in the boat, but Jackie and Alex were there, and so we drove the car right down there and spoke. Tried to speak to him on the radio, and we had to relay because his radio wasn't working. But it looks like now I actually get to see Guy. Jane and I fly tomorrow morning. We're out of here at 8 o'clock, and I've got this, and then I've got another appointment an hour later, and then we've got to pack and blah, blah, blah. So ironically, even though Guy's there, Jane and I won't get to see him. Although we might now because he's on the wharf. We might do we'll see how that pans out. Anyway, that's probably enough of that. He'll be happy to get in. As you know, there's no life rafts in Tassie, so it's yet to be determined what Guy is going to do, but he'll certainly be happy to get here. If we don't get to do a live, we'll try and get someone to do a recording later on just to have a chat. So it'll just depend on how it pans out tonight with that one. So okay, so I keep zooming back. We've got to put the wind back on here. Guy doesn't need any more wind. He's happy to be there, and we'll come straight across to Ian. So Ian's now doing 4.5. He's been moving pretty well. He's been doing sort of like fives for a big part of the day, and he's done nearly 90 miles in the last 24 hours, so he's happy with that. And I was surprised to see Jeremy park. We talked about it yesterday, but he's still parked 1.3 knots, although he's still done 101 nautical miles in the last 24 hours, so not too bad. And what's the prospect for the future? Let's have a look. If we go forward a day, I'll go forward half a day. Okay, so Jeremy's going to get the breeze back. He'll be fine, and it looks like it's going to go light for Ian. This is another day later. It's going to get windy for Jeremy. It'll blow him up a bit, but that's fine. He's sailing, and Ian's got a bit more relaxed sailing. So that takes us through to a day and a half. That's 2 days ahead, and it moves pretty quickly for Jeremy, so he'll like that. And there's just enough breeze for Ian to keep going. So the next 2 days, not too bad for both of them. They'll still get their 100, 120 mile days and so on, and maybe Jeremy will get a bit more. Goog was interesting. I think everyone was holding their breath. as he sailed down, thinking, oh, you're going to cut the corner, And I checked to see what cloud cover there was, and he actually had quite a bit of sun. So I think what's happened is he's probably got his latitude with a noon sight or whatever, other bits and pieces. He's a pretty good navigator, and he now knows where he is. So he's on the way down again, and he'll clear it with some miles to spare. So he's doing 6.7 knots. That's pretty good because it doesn't seem like much breeze there, but he's obviously got everything up. He'd have the staysail up and all the rest of it, so 6.7 is okay. And he's done 100 nautical miles towards Cape Horn in that direction, so not too bad. And weather-wise for him, I'm going to take it back one so you can see how this... Oh, that's why he's going so fast. I forgot to bring it back to today's weather. That looks a bit better. That's why he's doing 6.7 knots. He won't have his staysail up because it's probably 25, 28, gusting 30s in there, and making good time because it's on the starboard quarter, so that's moving along quite well. And go through till tomorrow. That's too far. 11th. Here we go. It's 24 hours ahead. He's still got a nice breeze. No problem. He'll be loving that. And we go through until the 11th. So it's 2 days ahead. He's still got a breeze. He'll be down here by then. So it looks doing pretty well with the weather. Not too bad at all. We'll try for the 13th. Let's see what he looks like. Yep, again, really good. We'll just look at the background. No surprises. There's going to be a fair bit of breeze there, but it's pretty cool. Yep, all very manageable for him. So Goog's happy. You might not know it depending on how much weather he's getting, but weather forecasting, but not too bad. They'll still be in the range of, they still are in the range of Peter in New Zealand. He's still talked to Kirsten again, got another update. We had the phone call, of course, which was pretty fun to get the phone call from Kirsten. We had both of them on weather alerts again this morning. We tipped them off the day before, and then this morning, just as they were interacting with this front coming through, we gave them the detailed forecast, and it wasn't sort of a big one. It was sort of like 32 knots, gusting 45 knots, 6 metre seas sort of thing. And the peak of it was lasting about 8 hours. So they've both gone through that now. Kirsten was absolutely flying for a while there. She was doing 7 knots and so on. She's slowed down a bit now, probably recovering. It's probably night time over there. Yeah, it will be. It's well and truly night time. And Abelish is doing 4.2. So now their big challenge for these guys is not to get too close to here. You want to give this a wide berth, which means they've got to make a choice now because the run line for them is coming down like this to get to Cape Horn. But if you get caught short here and the big one comes through, you need hundreds and hundreds of miles to run with it. And so this is a danger area. We normally have a waypoint, which I think is about here somewhere. I should have put it up, but there is a waypoint there. They normally have to leave that to port when they come across to stop them getting in this position here, like sneaking down like this. And I think they'll realise that. They're both very competent, very professional sailors, so not a problem. So we'll watch that with interest. So going forward with the weather, come forward a day, all very benign and very cool. They'll enjoy drying out a little bit and taking it easy. So that's on the 11th. So we go to the 12th. It's second day ahead. More of the same. They're both in the breeze. And then we'll go forward to the 13th. That's third day ahead. That's not a storm, that's just solid southern ocean. Southwesterly, it'll be 30 knots, gusting 40, probably 5 metre seas, maybe 6. They've got to get used to that. And the good news is that it's not a westerly in one way. It's going to be, actually, no, that's not so good because they're going to be coming down this way. They're cutting right across it. So this will be not challenges, but they've got to decide because you can't run off this way. So you're going to have to keep cutting across it. But it's not a storm, so they'll be able to manage it. Just gets a lot of water over there. Then you've got another good one on the 13th, and nothing really surprising back here for Goog either. That's the 15th and 17th, getting light. Oh, that's an interesting little one. That may have some little impact, but it's pretty small. What's happening to it? Yeah, it disappears and opens out. So pretty much to the 18th here. So that's like a week. They've got a week of it's not showing big storms for the next week here. It can all change, of course, but it's good for them to know what's going on. Simon's doing all his work up there, nothing really to report. He'll get organised. He's keen to get back out there as quick as he can, try and catch up with Kirsten and Abelish and give them a run for their money, which will be very interesting. So we'll play that by ear. All right, so good to see Guy back in, and as I say, there's every possibility that Jane and I won't get to see him, which is sad, but we are needed back in Hobart. They've finally given me permission to travel, so that's all good. And we'll see you. Actually, I won't see you tomorrow. I'll check it out, and Lutz will probably do a tracker. We'll be flying for the next 30 hours or something starting tomorrow morning. So I won't see you for Saturday or Sunday, but I'm sure we'll get Lutz up there doing something. So see you next month.